After the 30 days ended, I did what most people do when something finally starts working. I tried to protect it. I spent a month building habits that actually felt sustainable, and I didn't want to lose that momentum the moment the challenge was over. So I built a tracker, nothing really fancy, just a spreadsheet where dates was on a particular side and the little boxes on the other where I could tick off them at the end of the day. Workouts, study sessions, the habit that I wanted to keep. Honestly, I actually loved it. Every evening, I'd sit down, open the spreadsheet, and fill in another row. There was something satisfying about watching the streak grow. It felt organized, responsible, like I was finally becoming the kind of person who had their life together. And for a while, it seemed to be working. Then one evening, a few weeks later, I was halfway through a workout when I caught myself thinking about something strange. Not the workout, not whether I was pushing myself, not whether I was improving. I was thinking about the spreadsheet, about the box that I was going to tick when I'm done. And once I noticed that, I couldn't stop noticing it. Because the more I paid attention, the more it felt like something had quietly flipped. The habit was still there, but it was no longer felt like the thing I was doing. That night, I finished the workout. I opened the spreadsheet and marked the box. Green, done. And then I just sat there for a second. Not looking at the workouts, looking at the tracker. I started to replay the session in my head. How hard was it? Did I actually push myself? Was I focused? Did I get better today? The strange thing was how blurry those answers felt. I could remember doing the workout, but I couldn't remember experiencing it. What I remembered clearly was opening the spreadsheet afterwards. I remember the satisfaction of keeping the streak alive. I remember the little hits of relief that came from seeing another box being filled in. That was the part that felt vivid, and that bothered me because the tracker was supposed to be supporting the habit. Instead, it felt like the habit was supporting the tracker. Somewhere along the way, I stopped treating the spreadsheet as a record of the work. It had become part of the reward, maybe even the main reward. And once that thought showed up, I started seeing it everywhere. The workout wasn't the thing I was protecting anymore. The streak was. The strange thing is that none of this is what the trackers are supposed to do. Your idea is pretty reasonable. Track the habits, see your progress, stay accountable. Build a streak and use it as motivation to keep going. That's the promise. And honestly, for the first few weeks, it felt like the promise was working. Every evening, I opened the spreadsheet and I add another check mark, another workout, another study session, another day where I hadn't broken the chain. It felt productive. It felt reasonable. It felt like proof. Proof that I was becoming someone who could actually stay consistent. But looking back now, I think something started changing long before I noticed it. Because the tracker wasn't just recording the habit anymore, it was asking for attention. Every day there were suddenly two things to complete: the workouts and the record of the workouts, the study sessions and the record of the study sessions. At first that sounds like the same thing, but they are not. One of them was making me stronger, the other was making the spreadsheet look stronger. And slowly, without ever deciding to, I started caring about both. Then eventually, I started caring about one more than the other because the tracker gave me something immediate: a streak, a number, a visible sign that progress was happening. The worker didn't give me that. Some felt average, some felt pointless, but the spreadsheet always gave me the same reward. Another box filled in, another day survived. And that's when the tracker quietly stopped being a record of the habit. It became a second habit of its own, one that was running right alongside the first. Once I noticed all of this, I came to what felt like the obvious conclusion. The tracker wasn't working. So I started looking for a better one, a cleaner app, a simpler system, something less annoying, something that would somehow keep all the benefits of tracking without feeling like another thing I had to manage. And every new system felt promising at first. A better interface, a more satisfying streak counter, a calendar that slowly filled with color. For a few days, each one felt like the solution. Then the same feeling would come back. Not because the app was bad, but because I was still doing the same thing. I've been in the middle of the habits and parts of my attention will already be somewhere else. Thinking about the streak, thinking about whether I'd log today, keeping the chain alive. And for a long time, I thought that meant I just hadn't found the right tracker yet. But eventually, I started noticing something. The tracker kept changing. The problem didn't, which is usually a sign you're looking in the wrong place. Because the real issue wasn't the spreadsheet or the app or the streak counter. The real issue was that I'd accidentally given myself two goals. Do the habits and maintain evidence that I've done the habits. At first, those two sound like the same goal, but they are not. One is about getting better, while the other is about maintaining a record that says you are getting better. And once I saw that distinction, something clicked. I didn't need a better way to manage the second goal. I needed to stop treating it like a goal in the first place. Because every tracker, no matter how well designed, was still asking me to do the same thing. Protect the streak, protect the evidence, protect the record. And the more energy I spent protecting these things, the less attention I had left for the things they were supposed to be measuring. So I stopped. Not the habits, but the other things. The protecting, the checking, the maintaining. I took the workouts, which has been growing, getting a bit longer and more structured every week since the 30 days ended, and I shrank it down. Not to something reasonable, 5 minutes. Not 5 minutes as a minimum, but 5 minutes as the whole thing. Some days I did more anyways. Most days I didn't. And here's what I didn't expect. I stopped opening the spreadsheet. Not because I decided to stop tracking. There just wasn't anything that needed it. 5 minutes doesn't need a streak to prove it happened. It either happened and you know because you were just there and it took 5 minutes, or it didn't. Either way, there's nothing left over, nothing substantial enough to feel like it's worth writing down. The two goals collapsed back into one, not because I'd gotten better at managing the second one, because there was nothing left for it to attach to. The goal stopped being to stay consistent. The goal became to make missing it take more effort than doing it. Now, if you are tracking something right now and some of the attention is somewhere else while you're doing it, thinking about the streak, thinking about whether you've logged today, thinking about keeping the chain alive, don't go looking for a better app. You don't have a tracking problem. You have two goals where there should be one. Make the habits smaller. Smaller than feel like it should count. Small enough that the question, did I do it today, barely needs an answer. Because of course you did. It just took 2 minutes. You were just there. There's nothing left to protect. Which means there's nothing left to distract you from the thing itself. But here is the part I didn't expect once the second goal disappeared. I thought I'd feel relieved, and for a while I actually did. But then I noticed something else. A habit can disappear the exact quiet way the tracking used to. No bad day, no decisions, nothing to point to. 1 week, it's there. A few weeks later, it just isn't. And you can't remember when it stopped. That's a different problem to the one in this video. This one was about accidentally creating a second goal, while the next one is about the disappearing act itself, the way things just stop with no dramatic moment, and somehow you don't notice until much later. Why does that happen? And is there any way to catch it before it does? That is what this next video is going to be about.